this one go about picking their CSI? The CSI stands for Community Service Initiative. And to me, the most important word in that phrase is the word initiative. When you're picking your CSI, you want to pick something that gives you purpose, that gives you drive, that gives you focus, and that lights a fire under you, this is a message that you want to share far and wide. Some questions you might ask yourself when you're starting to pick your CSI is there a group of people that I could help or serve? Is there something in my state that I would like to see improve? Is that something that matters to you? Is there a social issue that I could enact change? And then think of a few ideas. Sometimes we just might want to pick nice and fast, and sometimes that is just fate leading us to our CSI right and easy. But it's also okay to list out a few ideas, think on it, think on your game plan, what you can do with it, where you can volunteer, how you can get service opportunities within that CSI opportunity. Some of you may already have your CSI chosen, and that's wonderful. We'll address your next steps in your journey in just a second. But for those of you who do not have your CSI yet, I have a list of ideas here to help get your wheels turning on what a CSI is and maybe what some options could be for you. So some we have are kids in STEM, arts and schools, health and wellness, and anything under the health and wellness umbrella, literacy, patriotism, focusing on service, homelessness, advocating for any certain disease or disability, character development, and anything under the character development umbrella, goals and life skills. Under disease awareness, we have pancreatic cancer and cystic fibrosis. Those are the last two CSIs of our last two Miss Americas. And then going along with that, thinking of an organization or a group that you could potentially partner with through your CSI to further your cause, whether it be Boys and Girls Club, whether it be American Red Cross, whether it be Kids on the Move, libraries, committees within your city. Some ideas of ways to get those partnerships started and going. So once you have chosen your CSI, and feel free to reach out to committee members, those who know you best, to come up with ideas, because your CSI is going to be the number one thing that you will talk about within your year. And not only will it be something you talk about, but it'll be a place you spend a lot of your time. The purpose behind the CSI is to help you jump into your community and help you find your cause. And so that's why spending time thinking about exactly where you want to devote that energy is so valuable. Once you have chosen your CSI, some things you want to have in your tool belt, just ready to reach out and grab, are a 30-second elevator pitch. My CSI is this, and this is why it matters. Or my CSI is this, and this is why I chose it. Or my CSI is this, and this is what I'm doing with it. So 30 seconds is called an elevator pitch, just short, because not every interaction is going to be a long one, or not every speaking opportunity is going to be a long one. So a 30-second elevator pitch in your tool belt, in your pocket. The next one that you want to have is a 2 to 3 minute summary, where you can have your CSI, maybe why you chose it, what you're doing with it, and maybe why it matters. Just short little sentence, bullet points, as you will be sharing it very frequently throughout your year. Now comes the question, I know what I want to do for my CSI, but how do I title it? It usually helps if you have some type of punchline and then explaining very shortly, 3-4 words, what it does. So for example, mine was called Pick Your Passion, Make It Happen. And then it was Teens Finding Direction Through Involvement. Your title is very important because it can have impact like making it memorable, helping you stand out, helping it associate you with your CSI, and everything in between. So when you are coming up with your title, the way I like to do it is once you've picked your CSI, no idea is a bad idea. Start throwing out any word that goes with it, anything that sparks like, oh yes, like we can put these two together. Like for a contestant that I was helping a few years ago, her CSI was literacy, and she chose literacy. Readers make leaders. Do you see how that it adds a little bit more splash, a little bit more impact, a little bit more focus on where she's wanting to put her focus and where she's wanting to put her attention, and just adds more grab rather than just kids and literacy. Does that make sense? So have fun coming up with a title of your CSI, and remember to keep it clear. Remember to make it understandable, as it will be in programs, as it will be in paperwork, and you never want to leave a question. You always want it to give a splash of excitement rather than confusion. So happy CSI naming.
So after you've chosen your CSI, the next step is to do something with it. And this is the fun part, because you can do whatever you want with your CSI. But there are 3 things that I think are really good to focus on when you're trying to decide how to best promote your CSI, or when you're trying to decide what to do with it. So that first thing is to partner with organizations. I think partnering with an organization is one of the smartest things you can do to promote your CSI. And that's because a community service organization has already done a ton of the legwork for you. Let's say, for example, that your community service initiative is all about child life development or childhood illness. If you partner with a hospital or an organization that's all about fundraising for childhood cancer or something like that, then they already have a lot of plans and ideas that are in the works. They can make you think of things you've never thought of. They can help you get in contact with other people, networking, and then they can also help you have a ton of events on your calendar that you can go help at or host or volunteer with. Just the possibilities are limitless when it comes to partnering with an organization. So I think that's one of the smartest things you can do. And it doesn't have to be an organization that is directly on point, related in every single way to your CSI. It could be something that's even tangentially related. Just something that can help you in any way, shape, or form promote your CSI. The second thing you can do with your CSI is to go to events that are already taking place. Now, I know this is similar to point 1 with partnering with an organization, and there is some overlap, but this one's a little different in that this can involve going to city events, college campus events, you name it. So for example, if your community service initiative is all about promoting the arts and getting people involved with the arts, then going to a city folk festival or bluegrass festival is a great way to get involved and to promote your CSI just by showing up. Or if there's, I know the city of Orem has a yoga night coming up, and if your CSI is all about getting people up and getting moving and exercise, then you can go to that event. It's already planned, it's already taking place. And the nice thing about going to events that are already planned and taking place is that you can meet other people there who believe in your cause or who champion your cause. So there are great networking opportunities. You can get in contact with people who are part of organizations you care about to partner with the organization, going back to point 1. The options, again, are limitless if you go to events that are already taking place. And also events that are already planned, like fun college paint nights or whatever it is that relates to your CSI, those events are so much fun. And I think it's important to remember that in promoting your CSI, it should be fun. It should be enjoyable. Okay, now point 3 I want to talk about. And this one is really important to me. And that is baking your CSI into your lifestyle, or getting so involved with it that it naturally becomes part of your everyday routine. So a little background with my experience with my CSI. This was back when I was in college, and I remember I was really overwhelmed. I had a really heavy course load. I was taking some economics courses, and I was really stressed, all while trying to promote my CSI, be involved on campus, and I was a commuter student. So being really overwhelmed, I knew that I needed to be strategic in promoting my CSI. So that meant at the start of the school semester, I signed up for a weekly shift to volunteer at a community service organization that I cared about. And that really helped, because then when things got busy or when I was trying to schedule other things, I already had my time promoting my CSI baked into my schedule. It was on my calendar, Fridays at 9 a.m. So that's one thing to do, is to take some time, sign up for recurring events or volunteer opportunities so you don't have to do as much legwork every single time you want to promote your CSI. Another thing to do is to think about the places where you're spending the majority of your time. It's probably work or school. So I think it's good to sit down and think, how can I promote my CSI when I'm going about my daily life? So for me, when I was a college student, I was obviously on campus all the time. And so it really helped by getting involved with opportunities that aligned with my CSI. My CSI was all about getting young adults involved in community service. And so I applied for things like Director of Community Service or Campus Community Outreach Liaison. And so that meant that even though I was on campus all day, I could still promote my CSI. So those are the 3 points I wanted to talk about. And in all of this, in talking about the what with your CSI, also never forget the why. And that this CSI is so important and that it gives you purpose, it gives you a legacy, it helps add substance to your time in the Miss America opportunity.
Hi ladies! Let's fast forward to a time when your CSI is chosen, named, implemented, and now it's time to interview about it. You want your CSI to come second nature when you are talking about it. You want it to be as easy as saying your name. You want to introduce yourself. Hi, my name is so-and-so, my title is this, and my CSI is this. And you have just been taught how to name it something that's catchy and makes it very clear. And then when you walk into your interview, the judges will already have paperwork that you will type up explaining everything you've done with it, everything you love about it, and everything you want to do with it with your title. So they already know those things. So when you have your first 30 seconds of an opening statement, I encourage you to take it one step farther. You could pull some information from your CSI document if you want to, or you can add something a little bit more personal, like a quote or a story or a memory or the reason you chose it. Hearing it in person will sound differently than reading it on paper. So that opening statement, you should really talk about your CSI. It's going to set the tone for your whole interview. I mean, if you want to talk about something else, we can't stop you, but your CSI is what you are going to be implementing with this title. They want to be able to visualize you talking about it in your community. And then they're going to follow up questions about your opening statement. So the ground is yours. Take advantage of those 30 seconds. And then anytime throughout that whole interview, I encourage you to slip your CSI anytime you can. So if they ask you a generic question, you could answer it straight up, or you could direct the question to re-bring up your CSI. If you feel like you've talked about it too much, of course, you can direct it in any way that you want. But for example, if you were to get asked the question, who is your role model? You could say, my mom, or my sister, or my aunt. You know, you can pick anybody that you want. But if you want to take control of your interview and make it about your CSI, let's say your CSI is about women in STEM, then you can answer this question by saying, my high school math teacher took an interest in me and she was a catalyst in my love for mathematics. So now that's what I'm studying at my university, and that is what I'm implementing as I go to schools, and I help facilitate that love in little girls for math, ... That's not a true story for me, but that's an example of how you can direct any question towards your issue of choice, okay? And then your closing statement. You've got anything you want to say. This is your last impression that you're leaving in your private interview. I encourage you to come up with 3 to 5 points that you have in mind going into your interview. These can be core moments in your life, special values that you want to describe, the reason you want the title, anything you want. You can share about how excited you are for your talent, you name it. But if you get to that closing statement and one of those 3 to 5 points has not been addressed, here's your opportunity to talk about it. You could say, I didn't even get a chance to share my excitement for my talent. And then your closing statement can be about your talent and how hard you've worked. Or if you didn't get a chance to talk about your CSI at all, then that's your time. And pro tip, anytime you can mention how excited you are to get this title or how much you want this title or what you're going to do with it, remember, this is not just an interview about you, it's an interview for a job, okay? And your job is going to hold this title while implementing this issue of choice. So if you can light that fire, talk about it, and share the experiences and the events and the memories that you have put towards it, then that is going to be memorable and it's going to be exciting and your passion is going to shine through. And I promise the judges will love you. Just be authentic and choose something that you love, that is unique, and that you feel like will benefit your community the most. Good job. Good luck.